And we are back at the theater. Now, I was thinking about before I watch these guys, so today's episode is probably going to be mostly watching these. In fact, I'm going to kick that off right now. I was going to look at something else, but I've changed my mind. I want to look. So, if you've seen these before, you don't have to watch this because I'm going to record it all. I'm not cutting it. Deal with it. All right. Let's see here. So the first two I've already kind of watched. So I'm not going to watch them again because I don't have to. Can't make me. And I think.
So it's
There you go.
So it's absolutely simple.
Okay. There you go. Next one. Yep. Candle. What's next? Okay, this is the first new one.
And so, by a backhanded, upside-down argument, was predicted that there is in carbon a level at 7.82 million volts, and then experiments in the laboratory with carbon show indeed that there is. And therefore, the existence in the world of all these other elements is very closely related to the fact that there is this particular level in carbon. But the position of this particular level in carbon seems to us, after knowing the physical laws, to be a very complicated accident of 12 complicated particles interacting. So I wish to illustrate by this example that an understanding of the physical laws doesn't give you an understanding in a sense of understanding significance of the world in any way. The details of real experience are very far often from the fundamental laws. There are, in a way of speaking in the world, we have a way of discussing the world which you could call, we discuss it at various hierarchies or levels. Now, I don't mean to be very precise, there's a level, there's another level, there's another level, but I will indicate by describing a set of ideas to you, just one after the other, what I mean by hierarchies of ideas. For example, at one end, we have the fundamental laws of physics. Then we invent other terms for concepts which are approximate, who have, we believe, the ultimate explanation in terms of the fundamental laws. For instance, heat. Heat is supposed to be the jiggling, and it's just a word for a hot thing is just a word for a mass of atoms which are jiggling. For that, fundamentally, we should think of the atoms jiggling. But for a while, if we're talking about heat, we sometimes forget about the atoms jiggling. Just like when we talk about the glacier, we don't always think of the hexagonal ice snowflakes which originally fell. Another example of the same thing is a salt crystal. Looked at fundamentally, a lot of protons, neutrons, and electrons. But we have this concept, salt crystal, which carries a whole pattern already of fundamental interactions, or idea like pressure. Now, if we go higher up from this, in another level, we have properties of substances like refractive index, how light is bent when it goes through something, or surface tension, the fact that the water tends to pull itself together, is described by a number. I remind you that we have to go through several laws down to find out that it's the pull of the atoms and so on. But we still say surface tension, and don't worry when we're discussing surface tension of the inner workings always.
Just a second. And we are zoomed. So I had to take a quick break there. We were in the middle of playing this guy. So we were talking about, let's see if I can remember what he was talking about. He was talking about like perspectives on things. How if you look at it from close up, it looks one way, like the heat thing. Look at it far away, it still looks like a solid. I think it was somewhere around here. I'll just pick it up from right here.
Fundamental interactions, or idea like pressure. Now, if we go higher up from this, in another level, we have properties of substances like refractive index, how light is bent when it goes through something.
I think that's where it was.
Surface tension, the fact that the water tends to pull itself together, is described by a number. I remind you that we have to go through several laws down to find out that it's the pull of the atoms and so on. But we still say surface tension. And don't worry when we're discussing surface tension of the inner workings, always. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. Go on, up in the hierarchy. With the water, we have the waves, and we have a thing like a storm. We have a word for storm, which represents an enormous mass of phenomena. Or sunspot, or star, which is an accumulation of things. And it's not worthwhile always to think of it way back. In fact, we can't, because the higher up we go, we have too many steps in between, each one of which is a little weak, and we haven't thought them all through yet. And we go up in this hierarchy of complexity, we get to things like frog, or nerve impulse, which you see is an enormously complicated thing in the physical world, involving an organization of matter in a very elaborate complexity. And then we go on, we come to things, words, and concepts like man, and history, or political expediency, and so forth, which is a series of concepts that we use to understand things at an ever higher level. And going on, we come to things like evil, and beauty, and hope. Now, which end is nearer to the ultimate creator, or the ultimate? Or if I make a religious metaphor, which end is nearer to God? Beauty and hope, or the fundamental laws? I think that the right way, of course, is to say that the whole structural interconnections of the thing is the thing that we have to look at, and that the sequence of hierarchy, that all the sciences and all the efforts, not just the sciences, but all the efforts of intellectual kind, are to see the connections of the hierarchies is to connect beauty to history, is to connect history to man's psychology, the man's psychology to the working of the brain to the neural impulse to the chemistry, and so forth, up and down, both ways. And today we cannot, and there's no use making believe we can, draw carefully a line all the way from one end of this thing to the other. In fact, we've just begun to see that there is this relative hierarchy. And so I don't think either end is nearer to God. And it's to stand at either end and to walk out off the end of the pier only, hoping out in that direction is the complete understanding, is a mistake. And to stand with evil and beauty and hope, or to stand with the fundamental laws, hoping that way to get a deep understanding of the whole world with that aspect alone, is a mistake. And it is not sensible either for the ones who specialize at one end and the ones who specialize at the other end to have such disregard for each other. They don't actually, but the people say they do. So. But that actually the great mass of workers in between, connecting one step to another, are improving all the time our understanding of the world, both from working at the end and working in the middle. And in that way, we are gradually understanding this connection, this tremendous world of interconnecting hierarchies.
If you expected science to give all the answers to the wonderful questions about what we are, where we're going, what the meaning of the universe is, and so on, then I think you could easily become disillusioned and then look for some mystic answer to these problems. How a scientist can take a mystic answer, I don't know, because the Holy Spirit is to understand. Well, never mind that. I don't understand that. But anyhow, if you think of it, though, the way I think of what we're doing is we're exploring, we're trying to find out as much as we can about the world. People say to me, are you looking for the ultimate laws of physics? No, I'm not. I'm just looking to find out more about the world. And if it turns out there is a simple ultimate law that explains everything, so be it. That would be very nice to discover. If it turns out it's like an onion with millions of layers and we're just sick and tired of looking at the layers, then that's the way it is. But whatever way it comes out, its nature is there and she's going to come out the way she is. And therefore, when we go to investigate it, we shouldn't pre-decide what it is we're trying to do except to find out more about it. If you say, but your problem is, why do you find out more about it? If you thought that you were trying to find out more about it because you're going to get an answer to some deep philosophical question, you may be wrong. It may be that you can't get an answer to that particular question by finding out more about the character and nature. But I don't look at it. My interest in science is to simply find out about the world. And the more I find out, the better it is. I like to find out. There are very remarkable mysteries about the fact that we're able to do so many more things than apparently and other questions like that. But those are mysteries I want to investigate without knowing the answer to them. And so altogether, I can't believe the special stories that have been made up about our relationship to the universe at large, because they seem to be too simple, too connected, too local, too provincial. The earth, he came to the earth. One of the aspects of God came to the earth, mind you. And look at what's out there. How can he, it isn't in proportion. Anyway, it's no use arguing. I can't argue it. I'm just trying to tell you why the scientific views that I have do have some effect on my beliefs. And also another thing has to do with the question of how do you find out if something's true? And if you have all these theories of the different religions, have all different theories about the thing, then you begin to wonder. Once you start doubting, just like you're supposed to doubt, you ask me, is the science true? We say, no, we don't know what's true. We're trying to find out. Everything is possibly wrong. Start out understanding religion by saying everything is possibly wrong. Let us see. As soon as you do that, you start sliding down an edge, which is hard to recover from. And so with the scientific view, well, my father's view, that we should look to see what's true and what may not be true. Once you start doubting, which I think to me is a very fundamental part of my soul, is to doubt and to ask. And when you doubt and ask, it gets a little harder to believe. You see, one thing is I can live with doubt and uncertainty and not knowing. I think it's much more interesting to live not knowing than to have answers which might be wrong. I have approximate answers and possible beliefs and different degrees of certainty about different things, but I'm not absolutely sure of anything. And then many things I don't know anything about, such as whether it means anything to ask why we're here and what the question might mean. I might think about it a little bit. If I can't figure it out, then I go to something else. But I don't have to know an answer. I don't feel frightened by not knowing, by being lost in the mysterious universe without having any purpose, which is the way it really is as far as I can tell possible. It doesn't frighten me.
Interesting views on God and science. Where does this guy start off at? Gotta be able to stand somewhere and see that circle. Thing is, part of the circle seems to be over there, and part of it seems to be over there. I can't remember if I got this one before. And the green one, I don't even know where the other part of the green of that one is. It's not over here. Maybe I can see it from somewhere else. I don't know. Anyway, more movies to watch. Okay, so I just did that one, and now I need this one. Let's see here. Oh, no, this goes here. Whoa, huh. What did I miss there? It's That's one way to start a movie.
Well, that's no better a solution than any of the others, is it? So, in the end, have we learned anything from this look at why the world turned out the way it did that's of any use to us in our future? Something, I think. That the key to why things change is the key to everything. How easy is it for knowledge to spread? And that in the past, the people who made change happen were the people who had that knowledge, whether they were craftsmen or kings. Today, the people who make things change, the people who have that knowledge, are the scientists and the technologists who are the true driving force of humanity. And before you say, what about the Beethovens and the Michelangelos? Let me suggest something with which you may disagree violently. That at best, the products of human emotion, art, philosophy, politics, music, literature, are interpretations of the world that tell you more about the guy who's talking than about the world he's talking about. Second-hand views of the world, made third-hand by your interpretation of them. Things like that, as opposed to this. Know what it is? It's a bunch of amino acids, the stuff that goes to build up a worm, or a geranium, or you. This stuff's easier to take, isn't it? Understandable, got people in it. This, scientific knowledge, is hard to take because it removes the reassuring crutches of opinion, ideology, and leaves only what is demonstrably true about the world. And
Most of the
reason
time.
why so many people may be thinking about throwing away those crutches is because, thanks to science and technology, they have begun to know that they don't know so much, and that if they are to have more say in what happens to their lives, more freedom to develop their abilities to the full, they have to be helped towards that knowledge that they know exists and that they don't possess. And by help towards that knowledge, I don't mean give everybody a computer and say, help yourself. Where would you even start? No, I mean trying to find ways to translate the knowledge, to teach us to ask the right questions. See, we're on the edge of a revolution in communications technology that is going to make that more possible than ever before. Or, if that's not done, to cause an explosion of knowledge that will leave those of us who don't have access to it as powerless as if we were deaf, dumb, and blind. And I don't think most people want that. So what do we do about it? I don't know. But maybe a good start would be to recognize within yourself the ability to understand anything, because that ability is there, as long as it's explained clearly enough. And then go and ask for explanations. And if you're thinking right now, what do I ask for? Ask yourself if there's anything in your life that you want changed. That's where to start.
Yesterday, tomorrow, and here. James Burke, I've heard of him. Definitely pro science and technology guy. So if you don't have access to technology, you can't know anything. That's true in a sense. Let me think about that. Let's see here. But a world with just science and technology is a cold place. And he said something about science always being cold, hard fact. It's the way it's supposed to be, but scientists have a way of ignoring knowledge as well, so to fit their theories. You see that on the news all the time. Let's see here. Where do I come out? Oh, okay. Go here.
know yourself as the open, empty, luminous presence of awareness. Open, because you say yes unconditionally and indiscriminately to all appearances of the mind, body, and world. Like empty space, you have no mechanism inherent within you that can resist any appearance.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
We don't have to make this the case, it is already the case. Empty, because although you, I, this aware presence, is aware of thoughts, sensations, and perceptions, it is not made out of a thought, a sensation, or a perception. It is made out of pure knowing or awareness. And luminous, because just like the sun, relatively speaking, that renders all objects seeable,
This guy's going to talk for a while.
so you, I, this open, empty presence, renders all experience knowable. In fact, we don't really see objects, relatively speaking, illumined by the sun. We just see reflections or modulations of the sun's light, appearing as a multiplicity and diversity of color. In the same way, we don't really know the objects of the mind, body, and the world. We just know our knowing of them. All we know, all that is known, is the knowing of experience. And you are that knowing. All that is ever known is a modulation of our own knowing presence, modulating itself in the form of thinking, sensing, and perceiving, and seeming to become a mind, a body, and a world. But we never actually know a mind, a body, and a world as they are normally conceived. We just know our knowing of them. And this knowing, the substance of our experience, the only substance of our experience, is ourself. In other words, we know ourself alone. Awareness knows nothing other than itself. Be knowingly this open, empty, luminous presence of awareness. We don't need to do anything special to make this happen. Above all, we don't have to manipulate the mind in any way whatsoever to be this presence of awareness. This presence of awareness, which is simply ourself, what we refer to when we say I, is ever present. now, I bring no special knowledge to this meeting. I don't have a store of knowledge which I am disseminating. I'm just, within the limits of language, trying to describe the current experience. Ask yourself, do I know anything other than now?
I'll come back to this. I don't want to listen to this anymore. Okay, so. Does anything else happen? No, he's just going to sit there and talk. Maybe I'm impatient, but I'm just like. Okay, but I was down here. I want to check something. See if any circles.
Good.
I'm wondering if this circle is supposed to be on the screen. That's what I was kind of looking at. No. Wait, that looks like.
This stuff's easier to take, isn't it? Understandable. Got people in it. This, scientific knowledge, is hard to take because it removes the reassuring opinion, ideology, and leaves only what is demonstrably true.
Where's the one? Yeah, okay, so that's supposed to be. Is there any circles around? Kind of already went through all that. I thought I saw. Wait, what was that? There's a frame there missing. Don't know if that's important or not. Okay, but there's no. Okay, I don't see anything. Okay, but I might listen to the other one later, but that was really long, and I just didn't have the patience for it. I can see that hallway goes that way. Let me go back up top. So I'm guessing the solution for this one is hidden on the one I haven't found yet. Yeah, no, but this seems to form a path, but I don't see the start point. So, anyway, I'm going out. I'm seeing a line in there. Do I have to solve this guy to open that up? 'Cause it's not over here. There's just a line. Where'd it go? Right there. There's a glowing line right there. I wonder if that's the thing. We have to solve this to get to the underground chamber. It seems to go right towards this. Let me go over there. See, because it goes this way, and it turns this way. Should I try it? Try to solve this guy? I mean, I don't even know where they all are. I'm willing to bet it's in this wall. And that's the reason I haven't found it. So we have this, but I think we got to go out on the boat to get that guy. Oh, this guy's turned off. Already got that guy. Need a boat. Because I know there's a bunch of hidden ones right here that I have not done. That's not it. See, that one goes over there. There's another one right here. Let's see here. Where are there other ones? That seems to be one. Maybe we need to be up there. Must mean there's more here. Yeah, but I'm not supposed to be solving these ones. Gotta go get myself a boat. Oh yeah, and I also forgot, I thought I had all the lasers, but I gotta go do the trees. I forgot about the tree one. Alright, where am I? Shipwreck. Oh, I'm right there. Guess I didn't get that one here. I have a feeling I'm going to be able to see this guy right here. Ah, almost got it. Oh, there's a ramp over there. I didn't see that. There's a second one. I don't know where I need to be to see that. Oh. Let me continue straight on. See what I see. Oh, guess I have to do that. Okay, not it. Booyah. Okay. Huh. There are lines over here. What I bet that's a path. Keep going. Does it ever turn orange over here? Yeah, it does. Just barely, but yeah, that's the answer. Okay, that's ought to be a good place. Come on, give it to me. Got it. Alright, I can go back now. Still need to do this island, but I'm not worried about that. I want to see what happens when you get this pillar. Let me off the boat. It'd be strange if the boat itself was one of the symbols, because that's a round shape over there. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Go on, get off the boat. Alright, let's take a look at it now. Don't have any of those. I don't even remember what that is. There's just so many to find. Okay, that was the shipping container. So there's probably another one around the shipping container here somewhere. That can do what? Zigzags. Kind of like, do I want to look for all of these guys? I don't know, it just doesn't sound very much fun, but it looks like that might be what you need to do to get into the underground chamber. I'm not positive on that. Oh yeah, there's this guy. I gotta change the colors in there. Yeah, I really don't want to do that. Just look around for stuff, places. Oh yeah, I did that one. So these look like guys that should be part of one of those guys. Now I gotta go in here and turn this guy blue. Actually, it's over here, isn't it? Oh, no, sorry. It is blue. I need to turn it red. Gotta turn it green. Green was middle, right? That looks like a path. How can we go to the top of this guy? See this from another direction to get that guy. Maybe up here? No. From the tower. Here? Nope. Nope. Almost. Still getting there. Oh, maybe from over there. No, not over there. Still one more to go. So you need this guy. Where do you stand to get that guy? Seems like you should stand on the bell tower, but I don't think I could see it from there. Let me look again. Guess I could have come in through there. Yeah, see here it's blocked by that. Maybe it is on that tower. This seems like the only place for it. Because I can't stand over here. That's way too much blocked. Nope, not here. Yeah, see, that looks like a path right there. Almost. Means I'm close. Not right here. Cool, got that one. Let's see here. What does this look like now? Okay, so that's the garden one. These are, okay, so these are just outside of the, I have no idea where those are. I want to go back to, I don't know if these are, which set these are, but I know there's some back at the beginning. Or I actually don't think that's where you go. That one there probably belongs to that one over there. So I noticed while I was that right there. Yeah, okay. You get up on the wall. And I also noticed this guy right here. That looks like a path. So I've got one there. I guess let me get up on the ledge. I bet that's where I need to be. Not there. Now I'm looking for circles everywhere. Why else would I need to be up here? Oh. Yeah. Anything else? Yeah. Yeah, I kind of think I might need this to open the door. But I kind of don't want to just look around for stuff. Kind of sounds a little boring. There's that. Oh, it was white. Alright, what else we got? Other circles. You know, finding a few is not so bad, but just finding the number that's on there. Like I said, it just sounds boring. It's cool as you're finding them. Hmm. Looking for circles. What about this guy right here? It's got to be somewhere around here because otherwise I don't see the pattern. Once you can see that same pattern from somewhere else. So you can see it from somewhere where it fills in the hole. I'm not sure where that would be. Oh. Um. Unless there's another one that can fill it in. No. Hmm. I see it right there. What's the shape supposed to be? bit. I guess I have to go check out the pillar. Looking for circles over here. Huh, look at that. It starts there, goes down, and goes up the wall. Huh. How is that even possible? Okay, that was the first one. I did not find it. I found that one, but not how to do it. I have no idea where that one is. That might be the construction equipment. And I have not found those at all yet. So there's only 2 more. Alright, let me concentrate on these 2. Now that I can see this shape. You have to go up the wall. How? And then you have another one that starts here. So I'm going to try to get those 2. I went too far. I have a feeling the jagged ones are supposed to be the castle walls. I haven't found any circles though. Now, how is that possible? I'm pretty sure this is the one I was talking about. How do you have phone? Oh, wait. Is it the cable? No. Because it went jagged in the middle. Wait. I see that. If you view it from the right angle, does it? Yeah, I see. I see a bunch of lines on the floor. Does it look like when you're up above? There's also one more. Let's see anything that looks like that other one. So far, anyway. Oh, hey, See, that kind of looked like the end of a... Alright, what does that look like up here? Still doesn't look like anything. Alright, I might have to take a break on this one. This is... Not seeing any circles or any area that it kind of went up like that. I think it jagged around and then went up. I'm not seeing anything like that so far. Yeah, finding the pattern just isn't any fun for the most part. This might be one where I'm okay at cheating, because I mean, just looking around for patterns, and you don't know any idea where they are. I don't know. It's kind of bored already. I don't even know if this will accomplish anything once I do it. Looking for circles. Wait. No. I bet this is it. But I don't see any starting circle though. They don't connect together. I see that guy. I still have no idea. So what I found out was this is supposed to connect to that. But how? But I see all these lines here. I wonder if I can see the world in a different color somehow. That's the only thing I could think. Is that somehow I can see the world differently. again, I have no idea how to do that. And I don't think this leads anywhere. I can go there anyway. Yeah, this does not lead anywhere. I was kind of hoping it would. Yeah, I'm definitely missing something. Because this guy connects to over there. But he can't the way I'm currently looking at it. So I must be missing something. Anyway, I guess, well, hold on a second. Because this is gray. Those are yellow. So if I took out the blue, I might be able to see the pattern. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, that's my guess. Is I need to remove the blue from this floor. But again, I have no idea how to do that. Is there any way I can look through blue? Or I don't think there is. There's no red. There's no yellow glass here. Wish there was. Or oh well. I think I'm gonna put it to bed right here and say good night. I'm tired.